So, I'm hoping this wasn't too much trouble for you guys to go ahead and click on my social media and follow me and such. But in the lower right-hand corner, spawning as our teal Protoss, his name is CJEntus Hero. Yes, the IEM Singapore first place champion. In the upper right-hand corner, spawning as our red Zerg, his name is Sen. Just Sen. Sen is now presently teamless, guys, so if you're looking to draft someone to your team, go ahead and start consulting with him. Start talking to him ASAP. At the last we had heard from him, he had decided not to go ahead and re-sign a contract with Gamania, and he was the last member of Gamania for basically, I guess you could say, any international esports platform. What's the word I'm looking for? Esports platform games. That was far too complicated. Long story short, Gamania no longer has a League of Legends or StarCraft 2 roster. They still have a no, not Crossfire, Special Forces roster, as well as I think a kart racer roster. Those games are exclusive. I wouldn't say entirely exclusive, but they are basically more frequently played in Taiwan and China, as well as Korea, than anywhere else I've seen on the planet. Crossfire is available to Americans, but of course it's a Korean game. It's not quite the same pace as not StarCraft. Well, definitely not StarCraft, but not quite the same pace as CS, but it obviously is kind of a CS rip, if you will. So Sora, so far no second gas. Excuse me, Hero, so far no second gas. Sen is brave enough to go with a double hatch opener. And this is a wait. Okay, so we got some kind of a wonky one base build coming from Hero right now, or at least something that seems to have the tempo of a wonky one base build. But I'm sure we're gonna see something come out pretty soon and a natural with it. Sen going for a third base shortly after throwing down his spawning pool. A very exposed location at that. He actually has no Overlord there presently, and that's actually spinning towards his opponent, so that's a little bit of a risk to take as a Zerg. But then again, it's not so much as, say, over here once you stop and think about it, because we can see pylons go up on the high ground, cannons get thrown over here, and then finally one more cannon over here to start thoroughly dealing out damage on the third. And as long as we're on the topic of bases, we do have Hero throwing down his natural presently. Cybernetics Core is now in the middle of researching Warp Gate tech. Okay, so it looks like my initial assumption of saying this was a one-base play was incorrect, but it's still completely beyond me why we have CJEntus' Hero on a single gas right now. This is completely beyond me. Alright, so another gateway goes down at the natural, and a third gateway at that. But there's room for either a fourth gateway, or... Ooh, wait, a Zealot got out here. A wild Zealot appears. Okay. Okay. Oh, so wait a minute. Alright, the probe has arrived over here, and it's got thrown down another... Yeah, there we go. Another pylon. Could see some forward offensive here, but that Warp Gate tech isn't ready to go for another 35 seconds. This is... Sen is kind of doomed here if he doesn't really scout this. Oh, man. By the way, I hope you guys are not thoroughly confused by Sen competing on Invictus Gaming's roster. He's actually not a part of Invictus Gaming. Don't get confused, guys. This caster is not making a mistake. I have Edison on Skype. He informed me thoroughly that Sen is not a part of Invictus Gaming, has no plans of joining, and furthermore, Invictus Gaming has no intentions of recruiting a fourth player. So many Lings got out here, but now drones are in production as we see the first 5 Riot Zealots hitting the battlefield. And Sen is going to be hard-pressed to hold against this, but he's got insane micro skills. If it's anyone who could actually hold against this kind of pressure, it would definitely be the one, the only, the pride of Taiwan, Sen. But that is a lot of Zealots, and those Lings don't have speed, and Metabolic Boost hasn't even started. In fact, we only now have gas being harvested. Wait, what's going on here? Ling speed hasn't even been started, and we already have Sen taking a surplus of 150 gas. This is a huge misclick from our Taiwanese Zerg. Now the Queen's trying to do whatever they can versus these Zealots. The Zealots getting a superior engagement point, however, and it looks like there's going to be a handful more Zealots coming in for a good surround. The Queen's just hoping, banking that they're going to get more, I don't know, a chance to transfuse on this one Spine Crawler. Sen hoping to pull off some kind of miraculous micro similar to what happened to the WCSNA. My god, he has pulled a miracle defense to this point. And this is by no means an all-in coming from our Protoss. In fact, look at what he's doing back at home. He's actually cranking out probes 2 at a time, throwing down a Robo behind this as well. No more sacrificial warpins coming in from our Teal Toss. And Sen comes out ahead in this engagement, even though he has not superior losses. Surprising. Amazing positioning from Gamania Sen, and he comes out ahead in all of this. So CJEntus' hero taking the 3rd and the 4th gas right now, and he's going into boss mode right now. Forge goes down behind this. This kind of has the tempo of what Jim was trying to do a couple of games ago, but didn't really succeed in doing. At least in my perspective, that's what it seems like. Mothership Core did come in for a scout in the main. The Queen kind of scared it off. That leaves me wondering just what does... Okay. Alright. Yeah. Hero doesn't really have too much vision on his opponent. But of course, you can tell what your Zerg opponent is doing by simply looking at the units he's cranking out. It's best to know ahead of time what he's doing. First, hallucinated Phoenix comes out to scout, but it missed that Hydra Den just barely. Sen not playing any mind games here. He's simply trying to keep his opponent from scouting it. Oh, and it gets scouted. There it is. So the Robo was actually a perfect choice by Hero. It's just that we have to see those Hydras hit the battlefield sometime soon, and the Robotics Bay is already on the way. That means there's going to be maybe 2 Colossi out on the battlefield. 1 at least by the time we see Sen ready to strike with this, I think. If not, it will be on the way. That one giraffe, the one giraffe to rule them all. It definitely won't have extended thermal lance once it hits that battlefield. Alright, so Immortals going down and out, and sentries and zealots. But the reinforcement pylon's going to be stuck pretty far behind. We really can't see Hero hope to kill Sen right here, right now. I mean, like, if he's doing that, I feel like it can't be done. But, oh, nice surround here coming from Sen, and he's gonna be getting a good chunk of those stalkers. Ooh, he got away with killing, I think, 3 there, maybe? And forced a recall on that Mothership Core. That's even bigger. I mean, well, in the end, Hero's got more supply to work with. And he's not going to gamble with this, and neither is Sen. So what's Sen doing back at home? He's going for the Infestation Pit, and he's going to be making a Roach Warren. The Infestation Pit is key to getting Hive Tech, but on 3 base, I don't know, that's a little slim. You typically need a little bit more in the way of economy. At least I would think. Layer Tech is Layer Tech taken at the 3rd. That's actually pretty unique, but I mean, it's the tankiest of... I mean, it's at the forefront. It may as well play the role of the tank. And the 3rd was established behind this for Hero as well. Sorry about that, my roommate is playing League of Legends in the background. Okay, so more and more Colossi are making their way into the mix, and Twilight Council as well. This opens up the route to DTs as well as High Templar. And something about Hero strikes me as the kind of player who's not really geared towards taking down, or not taking down, but rather throwing DTs into the mix versus Zerg. I mean, something about it just screams like something that Hero wouldn't do. But then again, he did take... I mean, San took the first 2 games off of Hero at IEM Singapore. That's San, not Sen. And he managed to take the other 4 games it took for him to get to victory with no objection from San whatsoever. So here we go, our Protoss moving out on creep. No detection available. That's actually pretty big. It's almost as though he wants Sen to see this. But he picks off an Overseer. It means no detection for him, no changelings for him, but he does have another one in this main army over here. Hero looking very reluctant to engage. actually starting anything whatsoever. He doesn't have even a single observer in this composition, or maybe it seems that he wants Sen to think that he doesn't have a single observer, when in fact he's just now gotten the first one out on the battlefield. Super high level play, guys. It's very difficult to predict just who is thinking what. Interesting place to put a probe. Anywho, huge swing by at the third. No kills for the Lings whatsoever, unfortunately. And Sen is now ahead 40-something supply. He's going to have to take this opportunity very soon to make some damage happen to his opponent. Hive Tech is almost done, and with that, we will see some Swarm Hosts making their... Or, excuse me, not Swarm Hosts, but Vipers making their way into the mix, I'm sure. Yes, 3 of them start immediately once we have that finished. And now Sen is supply blocked. So the question is, what does he do with that? What does he do with all of his supply? Does he basically makes a spine crawler wall with it, because it's basically the most viable thing that you can do as a Zerg player at this stage in the game. Start throwing away drones, put them to good use. Excuse me. And of course, Scouting Phoenix coming out wants to get a good read on what Sen is up to, but as long as it's over here, it's not scouting the Hive, and as well, it's scouted the Hive. Okay, derp. And both players are now steadily approaching that 200-200 composition, and I think Sen is maybe turtling just a little bit too long. 200-200, you know, typically, and this is what's most dangerous about this. I know Sen likes to do this. He's getting ready for throwing away that 200-200 army and then remaxing on mutas. Checking the upgrades right now. We have +3 on the way for our Protoss, while we have +2 missile attacks on the way for our Zerg. +2 Carapace, and he's even got a 3rd evolution chamber researching melee attacks. And it looks like these two armies are about to collide in the middle of the map. Misclick yanks a single Zealot instead of a Colossus. Storm's going down in the middle of all those Roaches and Hydras. Are there enough Abducts left on these Vipers to get those Colossi out of play? It's so difficult. There's 4 of them, and Sen has a lot more supply left behind that. One more Colossus gets yanked out of the way. And it looks like the remaining Roaches and Hydras are going to try and chase this down. This could have been a mistake, an overextension by our Taiwanese Zerg. And meanwhile, in retaliation, we have Hero pushing back, killing the Queens. That's actually very important because there's no more transfuses or super long-ranged anti-air. The Vipers cut out in the open are being sniped right now as we speak. No speak of. And Hero is looking like, his Stalkers are in a little bit of trouble, but they can blink here in just a few seconds, right? There we go, there's the jump. But Hero has already gotten a 4th base behind this, and Sen has to know something. He has to know, yeah, that's right, he's sending a Ling out to scout. I'm wondering, though, is he watching Edison's stream? Is he watching the stream on Fengyun Zhibo? Well, at any rate, the Ling did reveal that 4th base, and now Sen is going to have to punish his opponent for it. Meanwhile, we're going to have to see some kind of form of retaliation from Hero. He says, okay, you're going to try and punish me. I'm going to try and punish you at the same time. Wait, what's that Hydra doing? Just a single Hydra? Sen, you can do better than that. What's that all about, bro? Come on. Alright, so he's sending his entire main army there, but of course there's Zergling Mops ready to go. Zergling Mops, aka Colossi, are going to be able to deal with this more than adequately. Pylon falls. Not good positioning for Sen. He's pulling back immediately. Hero looks like he's going to be able to hold this with almost no trouble. And I'm just going to do a random alt-tab real quick to make sure that I'm not dropping any frames. It looks like we're good to go. That's why you heard the audio cut out just a teeny bit. I was like, don't freak out, guys. Don't freak out. And no... Oh my god, the yoinks, the abducts. 2 Colossi fall immediately. There's a lot of Archons in the mix, though. You don't want to pull all of your opponent's Archons all at the same time. That can actually work against you. And now it looks like CJEntus' Hero is in a bit of trouble. Blinding Cloud going down on top of a bunch of Zealots. Stalkers, unfortunately, unable to shoot and all of that. And it looks like Sen getting a little bit of the bitter end of the engagement, pulling back home. Zealots are going to try and stop this from retreating, however. And it looks like Hero is chasing the rest of this with very little trouble, getting a few pickoffs here and there, but now we have Sen integrating Corruptors into the mix. That's going to be able to definitively deal with the Colossi. Sen only managing to get 2 worker kills to this stage in the game. Amazing, really, in my opinion. Greater Spire in the mix as well, so that means we'll see Broodlords eventually, and once they make their way into the mix, I'm pretty sure this will be the end game. Alright, so Roach is now just powering through here, and Sen's just looking to alleviate supply here. He's got to make Broodlords. That's exactly what he does. And CJEntus' hero knows that this is not good. He knew that that was not his opponent's entire main army. He knows that Sen is doing something behind this, and guess what? I don't think he has a Stargate to deal with it. He does not. He does not. So the end game is, assuming that we have Sen getting the favorable end of the next engagement, I mean, I don't know how we can see CJEntus' hero continue. IEM Singapore first place winner. What would have happened if Sen had actually gone to that tournament? One Stalker blinks forward to get a good scout on what's here, and with that he sees the Broodlords and runs back home immediately. Heads for the hills, and Sen brilliantly dividing some units, trying to isolate High Templar and attack them. The Broodlords just basically phasing out the entire Gateway army there. Sen taking a fifth base behind this. And now I think, there we go, the Dark Shrine when behind, it is key to unwind on your Zerg opponent and blow his mind. But will it be out in time? The blink out underneath all of those Broodlords is massive, and it looks like Blinding Clouds go down on a good deal of these Stalkers, not able to get in an adequate position to engage. But now it's looking like, I don't know, Sen might be in a bit of trouble. He doesn't have enough ground army. He doesn't have enough beef underneath these Hawks to support those Broodlords forever. CJEntus' hero magnificently fighting his way back into this. The Broodlords are kind of caught out in the open here. The Stalkers are going to try and exploit the positioning right now, and it looks like Sen could be in a lot of trouble. The massive bounce forward there, and the Broodlords are out. There's only 4 remaining, one of them in severely low health. The Queens trying desperately to transfuse. Stalkers now getting favorable positioning, and Roaches and Hydras are trying to do what they can. The Dark Shrine finished behind this. +2 armor now on the way for our Protoss, and oh my god, if I have ever seen a more epic ZVP in StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm and had the privilege of casting it, I would not be saying that this is the best I've ever seen from CJEntus' hero and Sen. Amazingly, this base went unscouted. This is unprecedented. Oh, looks like CJEntus is going to punish that. He says, "You're going to expand towards me? Okay, fine. I'm going to make sure. I'm just going to make sure you can't use that base." So now it's a 4-base Zerg to a 4-base Protoss. Overall, the Chinese-speaking players definitely doing better than Team Japan versus CJEntus. At least in this game, it seems. Alright, so there's a lot of beef to reinforce everything that's here in terms of Broodlords, but there's only 2 Broodlords. 166 army supply to 197. Where are the DTs in all of this? It's almost as though our Protoss has forgotten that he actually has the Dark Shrine, or did I miss this somewhere? Alright, there we go. It looks like we have CJEntus heading for the hills in this one. The Broodlords, I don't know, I feel like the Hydras here are just, they're going too far forward. There it is, the beautiful storms from Hero are actually keeping his main army alive. 10 Stalkers warping in. The Colossi immediately get yoinked back. The Corruptors and the Broodlords not quite able to get in there. And it looks like there's Blinding Clouds going everywhere on all of this. This is so beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the main army falling apart. Even though superior it was, it is now obsolete, and Sen is still up 50 supply, but he's not quite using all of it. Okay, that Stalker just being annoying, doing some Overlord hunting, pretending it's a Viking. But behind this, I think Sen has not realized that his opponent has a 5th base. He's actually ahead of him in the base count. That means with this next big push, if we don't see Sen kill CJEntus' hero, he's basically done for in this game. Look at the income right now. They're already even. But once he transfers the probes from the once they hit the 5th base, that income is going to become superior. And once the income becomes superior, it's all a matter of production. And now it looks like Sen's just scouting around, making sure that there's no proxy pylon or anything of that nature, but there's already one basically queued up to be thrown down here. Sen should be able to see this on creep, but is he going to react to it at all? 5th base going down over here at what appears to be the 11 o'clock position. And more corruptors making their way into the mix. But I could have sworn I saw a Stargate somewhere in all this. Yes, in fact, there's a fleet beacon. And that means, Tempests just now making their way into the game. That means those Broodlords are mincemeat. And with the present number of Broodlords out on the map, I'm pretty sure Hero knows that he's only going to need to make maybe 2-3 Tempest max to deal with this adequately. Single Roach running away from this pact of Zealots, but I don't think he realizes it just yet. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, he just ran past them and he didn't react to them. This is pretty big. Meanwhile, Stalker's just playing with Sen's head right now. And Sen's going to have to do something to save that 5th base ASAP. Otherwise, he is down and out of this game for sure. Roach is coming by desperately to try and get a save on it. Will it live? Oh, it falls! Okay. So that means Sen now has to kill his opponent. If not, he himself is done for. He's making so many Broodlords, and man, this is bearing extreme resemblance to that 6th game between Sen and MC at NASL Season 1, where Sen forgot to scout the Void Rays, and it was such an epic game. It really was. Sen scouting will fail him yet again. He's completely unaware of that. Yes, he's completely unaware of that Stargate. Broodlord, strong unit, I heard. But I also heard that people only use them in Wings of Liberty. Sen now trying to rebuild that 5th base desperately. He doesn't have the mineral income to do so. Right now he's at half that of Heroes. He's also trying to take another base at, I guess you could call this the 9 o'clock-ish position. And Hero's getting ready to set up a 6th base if it really need be. And there's not a lot here in the way of anti-air for our Zerg. So those Tempests are going to have a field day on what we have here from Sen. Is he aware of this or not, though? It's all going to come down to whether or not Sen can actually get a scout out. There it is. He's moving out on creep. He sees the first Tempest, but do his eyes see it? Is he looking at that? Well, either way, he knows now, and he's pulling back because he knows he can't fight this. In fact, he's desperately trying to make some more Corruptors. And it looks like this is... Oh, man. Broodlord beef, guys. Who wants some of that? Oh, man. This is not good. 4 supply at a time, we see them falling, and it looks like with that, we will see Sen's 5th base fall. And this could be the beginning of the end. This could be checkmate for our Taiwanese Zerg. And oh my god, so many Broodlings getting launched at this. And just forcing an engagement from Sen. The feedback's absolutely amazing on those queens. The blink out underneath all the Broodlords. The blinding cloud's not quite enough. There's not enough Corruptors here to deal with the Tempests and the Colossi, and there it is. Sen gives out the GG after a strenuous 33 minutes and 40 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, I must say I, for one, am disappointed just a little bit.